Hey, foreign cars, foreign seats with the foreign leather. Foreign number, put the card in the ATM in the sad era. Yeah, flex mode, this ain't Southwest, this is jet. I ain't gotta shut the cell off, cause the iPhone don't got a jet mode. Bad be pesto. If you wanna come, let's go. We ain't going nowhere special. I just wanna see more desto. Hit your throw and I'ma catch those. Mexican, don't make pesos. Hit your sus, I'll replace those. Number save, no name though. We need more, tell them we need more. Put numbers on the board, let them keep a score. Hey, 16 cars in my front yard. Hey, 30 on my wrist, bullet points of God.
Big numbers, big numbers. 100 in a bag, that's a big number. Big numbers, big numbers. Whole team counted, that's a big number.
Yeah, rest, man.
And we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Carolina Panthers and the Minnesota Vikings. The children will groan. It's the final weekend of summer, but we've got the NFL, and we're underway on EA Sports. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. And right away, whistles and a flag down. And I believe we'll start the night with a 1st and 15. The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. They'll run it with Johnson. A bad start there, a big loss on their first play from scrimmage. It's 2nd down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
On 2nd and 7, Brissett completes it to Ron. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. That one, a 1st down pickup of 8.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
He's going to rifle one deep. It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, Vikings. Derek Watt, his first touchdown of the new season. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Well, that was the fly route for a touchdown, and since he caught that one and scored it, I got to tell the story. Before the game, we were standing there. He was running deep routes, dropped one. It bounced up and just hit me right in the gut, and I said, come on, man, but there was no drop.
Yeah, you okay now?
I'm good.
All right,
good.
We got the ice pack up here. You're just fine. What I loved about it was the subtlety of the route, because everyone knows he's fast. They're going to play him for that route first and foremost, but sometimes it's a head fake. It's varying your speed off the line of scrimmage. It's giving the defensive back different angles to think about. Is he going inside? Is he going outside? And then, as you noted, he just took off past him. Oops, there he goes again.
Let's go, let's go.
Open man is Ross, complete. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
The former second-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down. One thing that's great about watching him run, Charles, he doesn't hesitate. He got to the left side of his O-line and just went.
So there's two ways to look at that. One, just absolutely unconcerned, just takes off and goes. But more the latter, I think, which is he has absolute confidence in the guys in front of him, the guys doing the blocking for him. He just takes it and goes with abandon.
Off the play fake. Here's Jackson. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Play action. Now Jackson. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. And their inaugural sack of the game coming from an unlikely source.
You mean it wasn't a linebacker? It wasn't a defensive end?
It was somebody like you.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's a surprise for the offense. That's not what they normally get when they think about pressure.
Watch the spin set. 24 is the mic. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. 24 is the mic. Pick it up. Pick it up. Pick it up. Back.
There's Jackson on 3rd and long. A 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 44. And his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They'll be looking to duplicate the efforts of drive number 1 that resulted in 7 points in the 7-zip lead.
Well, you know how much I enjoy horse racing, right? Looks like they caught a flyer out of the gate, as they would say when you run in the big-time races. Means they get out to a fast start. They're setting the pace, making the other team chase now.
Now the pass hauled in by Kenny Stills. It's a gain of 16, and the Vikings have the first down as well. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. The first down carry here for Johnson. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
Defensively, a solid response after giving up back-to-back first downs. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Hey, watch the screen. Watch the screen. Watch the screen.
Brissett. Looking for his tight end read, and it's intercepted. Derwin James with a pick.
And, Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively. Not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10. And that's complete to Jeffrey. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. The Panthers have the first. It's a gain of 12.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
They try and run on first down, but this one going to lose a couple yards as they get him behind the line. A loss of 2 there. 2nd down. Up front, the struggles continue for this offense among the line. What can they do? Change the play calling? What?
I think part of that, yes, changing some of the play calls, some screens, some draws, some misdirection. You want to run any type of a play that will influence these guys to continue to get upfield. and find a way to use that against them and slip things in behind them. So some quick passes could work as well.
Now this throw caught left side. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 32-yard line.
And another thing that makes the comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. A nice chunky yard.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by a Keller Witherspoon. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. First quarter, and now he already has 2 interceptions.
Yeah, he's got to guard against being tentative from this point forward, though. He's got to still make the right reads, make the proper throws. I've seen guys in this league throw 4 interceptions in a game and win. He's got to understand, put it behind you, keep pressing forward.
They begin the drive with Johnson. And he's upended at the 33, following a good pickup of 8. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going, and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. I also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
A gain of a yard brings up 3rd and 1.
Let's go now. Mike, it's a pitch work. Right there. 50 something. Tackles.
Now we've got movement up front. And I think this is going to be on Minnesota. Ooh, moving from his tight end spot there.
Do you think that perhaps the play call was for him?
Well, that's a tough, costly penalty because now it makes it 3rd and 6 after the false start.
You gonna see me in your nightmare. 56 is Mike. 56 is the Mike. Come on. You better bring it. Mike's 56.
From the gun, here's Brissett. And able to find John Brown. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A pickup of 24 on the 3rd down conversion. From the gun, a run for Johnson. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. Jadeveon Clowney there on the stop.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Don't get nervous.
On 2nd and 9, Brissett. And he's going to be swallowed up. Sacked back at the 45-yard line. Jaron Reed muscles his way in for the sack.
Brings up 3rd down.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Minnesota. It's the Vikings in possession of the football as they've got it with a 3rd down and long coming up. So it's 3rd and long, and defensively not a real surprise. They're in the dime.
Let it go. 56 is Mike. 56 is the Mike. Get your swerve on.
Brissett now. He's going to rifle one deep left side. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. Fair catch called for in May, but now we'll have to see about the penalty. That was pretty obvious. He didn't let him catch it.
Agreed, and what's hard is you make that long run downfield to try and cover it, but you got to locate the football as well.
Here we
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively. Obviously, 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that colored jersey all week, not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Now Joe Mixon. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
They go play action now. Jackson under a heavy rush, and down he goes. That's sacked by Khalil Mack.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye. That happened fast, and a big sack. They'll come up after the sack on a 2nd and 12. Jackson. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on first down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the gun, it's Jackson. Got an open man, it's Ratley. His first catch, and it's a pretty big one. They get the conversion on 3rd down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. From the gun, Jackson. Got a man open, it's Ross. And down inside the 15 he goes. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. Seems as if the passing attack's starting to heat up a little bit here in the 2nd quarter.
You can sense and you can see the momentum, because now they're reading their patterns downfield, they're understanding the coverages, and they're finding the open holes in the defense.
Throwing is Jackson. Dumps it off to Mixon. 4 yards on the pickup, and it'll make it a 2nd down.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space, because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play. Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. To throw again is Jackson. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Adam Gotsis, the Aussie, with a sack.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. So 3 drives now for this offense, and that field goal gives them their first 3 points.
So if you're an offensive coordinator and you're averaging a point a drive, you're in the wrong line of work, aren't you? You got to find a way to unlock the key to these defenses and put some big points on the board.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Brings up 2nd and 3.
A good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3.
Kill, kill, kill. Turn it up. Kill, kill, kill. Turn it up.
Out of the pistol, here's Johnson. And now nothing but green ahead of him. He's at the 30. 10. 5. Touchdown, Vikings. David Johnson. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Vikings get the quick strike touchdown. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one, because those types of plays, when they result like that, are almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Panthers take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And it's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
2nd and 8 at the 24-yard line.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
That's it. Tight ends on the Ringo. Tight ends on the Ringo. Hey. Hey, we got 4.
They go play action with Jackson. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Akello Witherspoon. And he'll wind up losing 5 yards or so on the return, but no matter, they've got the football back.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 39-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Watch the screen. Pass. Rush in.
On the toss, here's Johnson. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Here we go. 54. Hey, hold on. 54 Mike. Let's go, D. It's going to take off. It's going to be a long day.
On 3rd down, Brissett. And this one complete to Reed. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
Well, the coverage was tight that time. They allowed the pass underneath to him, but they rallied to him pretty fast, too. Converged on him and got him down. That'll bring up 4th down.
On 4th down, on is Logan Cook to punt. 1:54 left on the clock here in quarter number 2.
Here we go.
Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up. And Jackson cannot get away, and he'll go down. Khalil Mack able to drop him that time for his second sack of the evening.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
24.
Throwing on second and long. Jackson, he's going to flip one out here to his running back. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for third down. Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down. Jackson from the shotgun. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. 14 yards, good for a Panther first down. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now it's Jackson. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. It's Chris Harris with a pick. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops.
You're trailing, you're trying to get points late in half. I absolutely understand that. But remember, it's all about the ball. And without the ball, you can't get those points. They just turned it over.
Now you got to be careful because that deficit can get a little bigger on the other side with that good field position they just took over with. Now a 10th carry for Johnson. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. That kind of looked like a defense fed up by being gashed in the running game all night.
Yeah, and imagine their coach saying, if you're fed up on that play, where were you the rest of the time? What took you so long? But flip it over to the offensive side. They've been dominating this thing, and to finally have a play go against them.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Jaron Reed, his 2nd sack of the night. So we've reached halftime here in Minnesota with the Vikings on top. As we'll send you down to Orlando and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never wanted to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Now they run with Mixon. Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Here we go, D.
Jackson now. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Ndamukong Suh with a sack. We've seen that a ton since he entered the league in 2010. And that'll set him back 5. Here's Sam Martin now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. Fielded at about the 28. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we've got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. They were looking to throw, holding on the big right tackle.
It's real simple, partner. Keep your hands inside in the chest area. You're probably okay. You get it out on the shoulders, get them wide. Usually going to pick up a holding call.
Check the call, check the call. 56 is Mike. 56 is the Mike.
Brissett now on 2nd down. Lets it fly for Thielen. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 30. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Here's Jackson. It's brought in by Jeffrey. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you, because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Operating from the gun, Jackson. And that is incomplete.
And we're into the second half now. This is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. And here now the punter, Martin, booming this one away. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line.
At their own 23-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious, because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards.
Let's go, let's bring it. Let's bring it. Mike spot 4, Mike spot 4, Mike spot 4.
Out of the gun, Brissett. Going deep for Moncrief. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's third down.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
54, right there, 54 Mike. Come to my world. What? Go. We run it. Come to
From the shotgun, it's Brissett. And for a third time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by Quan Alexander. And he is going to get this one back to the 20-yard line.
That's big.
That's now his second interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. Here's Jackson to throw. And he's wrapped up. Taken down. Back at the 25. Khalil Mack in there to get him yet again. That is his third sack tonight. They can't figure him out. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. Mixon. And give him about 3 as he gets it down to the 22-yard line. Not the start to the drive they were hoping for. That run doesn't get them much at all.
No, not at all. That leaves them with third and long, which means you got to dial up something pretty good. Think your best player with a play that he likes to run best.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is third and long. From the gun, Jackson. And the throw there going to be incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces them to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. It's what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway.
That's what I do.
And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. And nothing but daylight ahead. 30, the 20, 10, touchdown, Vikings. David Johnson, an 80-yard touchdown. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. One play, 80 yards. Pretty easy drive to recap.
It certainly is, but not so easy to execute. Starting on your own 20, you want something to kickstart your drive and get it off to a nice start. They went for the whole thing and got it. That's a great way to send a message to the opposing team.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Let's go. Let's go.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score.
Well, I guess we just discovered that someone is certainly not going to sit back and just take it in this game, huh?
No, they were trying to get that touchdown back in one shot.
One shot, trying to help out his defense and let the other team know they were coming after him.
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. Now left side on the swing pass. And he's got some space here. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen, where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
Now this one complete downfield on the left side. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 13 yards, first down, Panthers.
First down, Carolina.
This quarterback now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Out of the shotgun, they run with Mixon. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4.
Who got 17? Who got 17?
Now it's Jackson. Throw left side complete. That's Strickland. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. In for the score. As they're now just an extra point away from getting back within one score. And on that one, able to catch it, also able to have the wherewithal to take it in for the score.
And how about the phases of a successful catch and a completion of a play? Look the ball in, secure the catch, and then, of course, the run after the catch that ends up in the end zone.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they hit the home run last drive. One play on the ground all the way to the house. Now the defense, maybe they're expecting a run here.
Partner, I love your description because when we talk about hitting the home run, we're usually thinking about a passing play, aren't we? Something in the air, deep ball. But how about...
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. David Johnson. His 3rd touchdown of the game and 4th on the year. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Crosby with the extra point, and the lead is up to 15 now. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2 minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
A good start to the drive here as that's caught out on the left side. And they work this well upfield across the 45. The end result, 21 yards.
And the Panther first down.
Here we go. Here we go. 6 yards. I got one.
From the gun, a give to Mixon. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3.
Go, go, go. Hey, look. Check, check, check.
Now Jackson. Open man is Ross, complete. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. Give him 14 on that one and a first down.
Partner, this is one of the best routes anyone can have in their offensive playbook. Tough to defend because you think it's a go route, and then he breaks it back on the comeback. There's one other thing you need as well.
A well-thrown ball.
Exactly right. Got a guy who has some precision in throwing the football because of the timing of the route.
Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
Second and 2 at the Vikings' 23-yard line.
Eight yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. Jackson. They'll find Everett there, complete. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down.
When the offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Jackson to throw again. And he's going to have the hook up to Ross. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down. And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. To throw is Jackson. From the gun, he'll throw. Buying time to his left. Give him a couple on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
The line of scrimmage, the 7 now on 2nd and goal.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you. Jim.
To throw is Jackson. That's complete to the tight end, Everett. And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. Gerald Everett, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. As they're now just an extra point away from getting back within one score. Extra point by Badgley, up and good. As this gets them back within a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Following the touchdown, Badgley out there to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They have the lead, obviously, late in the game. I guess the good news for them is if for some reason they would make a mistake, a field goal does the opposition no good.
Everyone loves to have a little bit of a cushion, and that helps you immeasurably. But the bottom line is, do all the things that you're taught in order to close out the game. Don't even let that become an issue.
Yeah, but still a one-possession game. This one not fully over yet. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. The busy night continues for Johnson. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down. This defense starting to buckle down when they need to, and right now they're winning this 4th quarter, losing the game, but they're winning in the 4th quarter.
And what a fine line it is about what they're trying to get done, because they're down, so they obviously need the football, need a score. but they can't be so aggressive as to give up their edge, their gaps, and have the offense hit them with a big play.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now a give, right side. Small. Oh, no, he lost the football. But a Viking was able to corral this one, and Minnesota will keep possession.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover.
Mike, 55. Check, 55, Mike.
On 2nd down and 4. Brissett under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Well-timed effort there by Derwin James. A sack from his safety position.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
Check, watch 54, watch 54. Watch the run, watch the run. Zoom. Mike, go. Mike 5-4. Here we go. Hey, watch that. Check, Mike.
It's 3rd and long for Brissett. Jordan Reed has it. And he's going to get this inside the 30. And they're going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Panthers' 26. Big hook up there, forced to throw it on 3rd down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
It's a party now. Check 50.
They'll run on 1st down. It's Johnson. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. And now defensively they're going to burn their 1st timeout. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning. A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12.
Hatchet.
Again, it's Johnson. And he's able to get more than half of what they needed. That brings up a 3rd and 5. And his defense here going to burn their 2nd timeout. But you can also factor in another timeout that they'll get when the clock stops at the 2-minute warning. And on 3rd and 5, this will be the 8th play of the drive.
It's our time, guys. Our time. Let's get off the field. Go, Mike 51. Hey, let's come down.
Here's a 20th carry for Johnson. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. And now here comes the 3rd of their timeouts defensively. So they'll be left with only the 2-minute warning to stop it from here on out. And the 13-year man puts it through, and that will bump the lead up to 11. A big one there. That gives them a little cushion and makes it a 2-score game.
Yeah, bled a little time off the clock, put some points on the board. It's not totally out of reach yet, but it has to feel pretty good to them right now because as a defender, you go out on the field and say, guess what? You can put some points on the board, but that won't beat us.
And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score...
The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Ndamukong Suh in there to take him down on what will take us to the 2-minute warning. So it's Panther football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Throwing on 2nd and 14. Jackson. All in all, no gain on the play, and it'll bring up 3rd.
Well, there was pressure all around him, so the only play was to try and get out of there. I think it was an excellent effort by him just to get back to the line of scrimmage.
24 is the line. Stop your body. 24 is that.
Here's Jackson on 3rd and long. He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
53 is the mark. 53. Check. 53.
They'll try and throw for it with Jackson. Now a desperation throw. He's got a man. Complete. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a 1st down.
First down.
The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. From the gun, Jackson. He's going to let it fly. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. So the contact came before the ball got there, and the flag is thrown.
Timing is everything, isn't it? And it's so hard to cover these great receivers. They have such great body control, and they can fake you out. In this case, as you described, got there before the ball got to the receiver. Penalty flag had to come out.
After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal. From the gun, it's Jackson. And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. Duke Riley in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. Moved back to the 10. They'll try on 2nd and goal. And this is caught now for a late touchdown. So hold everything here. This one's not over yet.
Touchdown, Carolina.
So certainly some importance to this one now. After the touchdown, they could get this down to a field goal with a 2-point conversion. They're going to try and run, but he will not get in here. He's stopped up short of the goal line, and this will remain a 5-point game. So with under 30 seconds to play, this is the game right here. And the Vikings hands team able to recover. And that should just about do it. They had to go for it with no timeouts remaining, though, now. This one's as good as over.
They gave it an effort. They tried their best, did everything they could to try and get the ball on the onside kick. You're exactly right. They had to try it. It was their only option. And now this game is done. Just take it, kneel, and call it a day.
And you know they enjoyed taking that knee because they're now going to be 1-2 instead of 0-3. And psychologically, that's a big difference early in the season.
It certainly is. It's a big barrier breaker because you get to 0-3, you're not thinking playoffs. At 1-2, you still believe that you're going to be a playoff team.
Yeah, you feel you got some hope on your side. 0-3, things start to look pretty bleak. So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory, and they were really helped by their defense, forcing 3 turnovers.
I think what we saw in this one, today's defense. And what I mean by that is in the old days, pitching shutouts was big time. That was paramount. But the big thing was holding people down, holding down their yardage, right? Don't let them throw the ball through the air and gain a lot of... But now, It's about taking the ball away, taking away possessions, getting the ball back for their offense. They had 3 takeaways in this one, and it led them to victory.
So for the Vikings, they're into the win column now as they move to 1-2 on the young season. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week, where they take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Meanwhile, for Carolina, they suffered defeat for the first time as they dropped to 2-1. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.